Nepal, known for its rich culture and spirituality, has a fascinating tradition dating back many years called Kumari Devi, also known as the living goddess. Namaste. Today we're embarking on an enchanting journey to the mystical land of Nepal, where we'll unravel the captivating story of Kumari, the living goddess. For centuries, this ancient tradition has been shrouded in mystique and charm, captivating the hearts and minds of people worldwide. So join us as we venture into the captivating world of Nepal's living deity. We'll take you on a voyage into the heart of Nepali culture, where you'll discover the intriguing selection process, the daily life of the Kumari, and the profound significance this young girl holds for her country. Stay with us as we dive deep into the spiritual essence of Nepal and uncover the extraordinary tale of Kumari, the living goddess. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos.
You know, it's one thing to praise your children, it's another to worship them. A centuries-old tradition in Nepal proclaims young girls goddesses, but becoming a deity may not always be a blessing.
The Kumari is all about a special girl who is considered to be a living goddess who represents youth, beauty, and good manners. People believe that even catching a quick glimpse of her can bring good luck. She's special because both Hindus and Buddhists worship her, and her name, Kumari, comes from the Sanskrit word for princess. Kumari girls are chosen from the Shakya or Bajracharya caste in Nepal's Newari community, and you can find them in different parts of the country. But the royal Kumari of Kathmandu is the most prestigious one, and she only comes from the Shakya family. She lives in a palace in the center of Kathmandu and is seen as the living form of goddess Taleju. This Kumari tradition, mixing spirituality and cultural heritage, shows Nepal's diverse beliefs, where these young girls never walk on the ground, and it promotes religious harmony.
And I also noticed that her feet were up on a little platform.
Yes. So while she is the Kumari, she should not touch the earth, and so she will be carried around.
The Kumari Puja tradition in Nepal is like a window into their rich culture and shows how spirituality and heritage are deeply connected in this country. Both Hindus and Buddhists in Nepal see the Kumari as a vessel of divine power, and her presence means good luck and prosperity. When they choose the Kumari, priests from the Buddhist community help serve the Hindu community, which is a great example of how Nepal has religious harmony.
The girl who is selected as a goddess, she comes from a Buddhist family. But then the goddess is a Hindu goddess. She's a representation of a Hindu goddess.
There are 10 Kumaris in the Kathmandu Valley, and the royal Kumari of Kathmandu, currently represented by Trishna Shakya, is the most important. Nepal is a diverse country with many different ethnic groups, and their strong belief in the divine makes the Kumari, who comes from the Newari community, a symbol of deep spirituality. People admire and worship her because they believe she can bring blessings and good fortune to anyone who meets her. The Kumari, Nepal's revered living goddess, is a captivating symbol of the country's rich culture and traditions. Her story is wrapped in myths and legends that have been passed down for generations. While we can't be sure when the Kumari Puja tradition began, it's thought to have started in the 17th century during the rule of the Malla dynasty. The story revolves around King Jai Prakash Malla, who was said to have played dice games with the goddess Taleju, the Malla's clan deity, in secret. When the goddess disappeared because the king's queen found out, Taleju promised to return as a young girl from the Newari Shakya community. This led to the worship of the Kumari, a tradition that still fascinates the Nepalese people, even though there isn't solid historical proof. In another version of this mysterious tradition's beginnings, King Trilokya Malla is the central figure. It's said that he too played dice games with goddess Taleju, but things took an inappropriate turn, and the goddess disappeared. Filled with remorse, the king sought her forgiveness, and remarkably, she agreed to return in the body of a young virgin girl from the Shakya family. These stories are deeply woven into Nepal's history and culture, emphasizing the strong link between the divine and the people of this ancient land, where legends remain an essential part of their heritage. Choosing the Kumari, Nepal's living goddess, is a meticulous and deeply spiritual process that carries great significance in the country's culture and traditions. This selection process can be likened to the criteria used for selecting the Dalai Lama in Tibet. It involves the expertise of 5 senior Buddhist Bharacharya priests and key figures such as the chief priest of Taleju Bawani, the caretaker of Kumari House, and the royal astrologer. To be considered, the chosen child must come from a Shakya family with some flexibility for other Kumaris in the region.
Kumari ke lachan chari the Kumari sushi gentleman. Wo macha bana mala, wo macha mikhayo anga chan mutuyo anga mayo anga sampur samra. Athestong wayo chani jigo chal chalan. Athestong wayo chan chlasa soba. Ago chani wayo soba bana mala.
It's essential to maintain caste consistency over 3 generations, and the girl should be in excellent health with unblemished skin and no history of bleeding. Additionally, she should still have all her teeth and pass a series of demanding tests that align with the 32 perfections of Hindu goddesses, referred to as Batis Lakshana. These perfections cover both physical attributes and divine qualities, including having a chest like a lion, a voice that is soft and clear like a duck, a body like a strong banyan tree, cow-like eyelashes, a conch shell-like neck, a horoscope matching the king's, a sign of serenity and fearlessness, black straight hair, dark eyes, delicate and soft hands and feet, thighs resembling those of a deer, a small and moist tongue, and modestly sized and well-recessed sexual organs. The selection process concludes during the festival of Dashain on a dark night called Kala Ratri, where the candidate must show unwavering courage. In this final test, she walks through a courtyard filled with sacrificed animals and masked men dancing among the blood, all while demonstrating fearlessness. If she successfully passes this ultimate trial, the evaluating priests proceed to one last examination. She is placed alone in a room with ritually slaughtered goats and buffaloes, an experience shrouded in mystery. The details of what occurs in this chamber are known only to the priest, but it's a crucial step in determining her suitability.
This is done in every year during the sign after being a Kumari. The Kumari is taken to the Taleju temple in the dark room in front of the buffalo head to do some puja.
Following this, she must correctly choose the personal belongings of the previous goddess from an assortment of items, solidifying her divine status. Once these rigorous assessments are complete, the selected girl undergoes various tantric rituals to purify her body and spirit, preparing her to become the vessel for the goddess Taleju. After this purification, it is believed that the goddess enters her, and she is introduced as the new Kumari, taking up residence in Kumari Gar. Kumari, seen as the living form of goddess Taleju, plays a significant role in Nepal's culture and spirituality. The careful selection process, with its attention to ancient traditions, highlights the strong religious harmony and reverence for the divine in Nepalese society. Whether chosen at a young age or after passing the customary tests, Kumari must come from a Nuwari family. The Kumari story also reflects the belief that she carries blessings and good fortune, serving as a living representation of Taleju, responsible for protecting the nation. When a young girl becomes a Kumari, her life undergoes a significant change. Usually, she's around 3 to 4 years old when anointed as the royal Kumari, and she must follow strict rules and traditions. Her world mainly exists within the palace and she rarely leaves. She spends less time with her family and is cared for by her custodians, who come from the same caste. Her playmates are chosen carefully and are usually the children of her caregivers. She lives in the Kumari Gar, leaving her parents' home behind. While her life is far from ordinary, it revolves around ceremonial duties and spiritual significance.
I also face a lot of problem going. Just a 2-minute walk was quite difficult for me. I needed my parents to hold my hands, and I felt that the streets were, shaking.
The Kumari wears stunning red and gold garments, including a flowing jama cloak, a red boto shirt, and a red turban or pagri. She also has a distinctive symbol on her forehead, the Agni Chakshu, or fire eye, which signifies her unique power. She resides in Kumari Gar, where people from all over the country gather, hoping for a glimpse. Seeing her even briefly is thought to bring good luck and blessings. The Kumari is highly regarded for her ability to influence illnesses, attracting many prominent visitors who seek her blessings and divine help. When those people meet the Kumari, they carefully watch her every move. Her reactions are seen as signs that can predict a visitor's future. Whether she laughs, cries, rubs her eyes, trembles, or chooses specific foods, her actions provide deep insights into the destinies of those who come to see her. It's considered a sign of possible sickness or death if she laughs loudly or cries. Rubbing her eyes may suggest that someone could pass away soon, while trembling might indicate a risk of going to jail. Picking at food offerings might suggest upcoming financial losses. Her world combines everyday life with mysticism, where just a glimpse of her can bring blessings, and her actions can influence the fates of those who visit her.
Mom tells me that I used to cry a lot, 24 hours a day for 4 days, continuously weeping and weeping. She consoled me with the toys, and she asked me, what's wrong with you? And she thought that because I was stopped from going outside and before I had to follow a lot of rules, that is why she must be crying. She was thinking in that way, but the priest and the devotees, they had already forecasted something bad is going to happen.
Something bad did happen. A massacre of the royal family occurred on the 1st of June 2001. Crown Prince Dipendra went on a rampage in the royal palace in Kathmandu, killing his parents, the king and queen, 3 of his siblings, and several other people. The country was left shocked and traumatized.
On the 4th day, I heard that the royal massacre happened, and on that day I stopped crying.
The life of the royal Kumari is highly meaningful and respected in Nepal's rich cultural traditions. The life of a Kumari, particularly the royal Kumari of Kathmandu, deeply reflects Nepal's ancient and revered traditions. Chosen at an exceptionally young age, often as early as 3 years old, becoming a living goddess comes with mixed emotions. While the parents feel immense pride in having a daughter chosen as the embodiment of goddess Taleju, it is equally accompanied by heartache as they must part with their beloved child.
They feel that they're very blessed to have served her daughter as a goddess, so they feel really lucky.
Once anointed as the Kumari, the young girl enters a world of strict separation from her own family, as the visits from her parents are rare and precious, occurring only during specific ceremonial events, which happen approximately 13 times a year. Life in Kumari Gar, an old palace without modern conveniences, stands in sharp contrast to the outside world. For much of its history, Kumaris did not have the opportunity for formal education or access to the internet. Their days passed in the solitude of dimly lit rooms, illuminated by candles and lamps as they fulfilled their sacred duties.
अब बाहिर जानु हुँदैन त्यस भएर अब साथीहरु कोही कोही यही खेल्न आउनुहुन्छ अब के खेल्ने भन्नु भयो भने त्यो भित्र खेल्न मिल्ने जति सबै ल्याइदिने गर्छु हामी
Therefore, the Kumari tradition has long been a topic of discussion and concern among human rights and children's rights activists in Nepal.
That is undoubtedly against the rights of these little children. I mean, they're just 4 years old, 5 years old. I mean, they've never been, they don't know anything about this, and that leaves a huge mental scar that affects their life forever.
While deeply rooted in the country's history and culture, activists have raised questions about potential violations of children's rights. Specifically, the separation of young girls from their families and the limitations on their access to education and normal childhood experiences have been points of contention. In response to these concerns, there has been a significant effort to safeguard the rights of the Kumaris while preserving the tradition. Nowadays, most Kumaris, except the royal Kumari, lead lives much like other children. Education is now a fundamental part of Kumari's life, addressing the worries raised by rights activists.
Since 2007, a lot of changes has been brought in this tradition, because Kumaris used to face a lot of problem when she goes outside to the society. Kumaris were not allowed to have friends back then, but now there's a change in rule that friends can come in to her place so that she can have some sort of interaction and she can learn some social skills.
Thanks to these discussions and the increased awareness of children's and human rights, there has been a noticeable transformation in the Kumari system, especially in Kathmandu. As per the rising questions surrounding this tradition, the unique practice of the Kumari not touching the ground has garnered much curiosity and inquiry. The reason the feet of the living goddess Kumari should never touch the ground is deeply rooted in religious beliefs and traditions.
And I also noticed that her feet were up on a little platform.
Yes.
It's believed that the ground is considered unholy and unworthy during her time as Kumari. The ground is viewed as a place of impurity, and if Kumari were to step on it, the spirit of the goddess Talaju, which resides within her, would depart.
Our feet can't touch the ground because in the culture here, the land is considered also as a god, so a god can't touch another god, and also because if she gets a cut on her feet, she ceases to be a goddess.
Specifically, in the case of royal Kumari, she is never allowed to touch the ground. Instead, she is carried in arms or her golden palanquin wherever she goes. The only exception is during a specific ceremony when she walks barefoot around the Taleju temple as part of a purification ritual. The life of a Kumari as the living goddess is extraordinary, but it is not a lifelong role. When a young Kumari enters her adolescence and experiences her first menstruation, she is considered impure in the eyes of this ancient tradition. The Kumari system has evolved over time to ensure that once the divine role has ended, these young girls can transition into a more typical existence. They even receive a monthly pension from the government of Nepal as a token of appreciation for their service as living deities, acknowledging the unique place they hold in the country's cultural heritage. Another question of whether a Kumari can marry has long been shrouded in myth and misconception. Contrary to these stereotypes, the answer is a resounding yes. It has been falsely believed that if a Kumari were to marry, her husband would meet an untimely demise, or that her horoscope held such overwhelming strength that it would lead to complications in her marital life. However, these notions have proven to be unfounded. Many former Kumaris have happily married, and there is no credible evidence to support the myths that have circulated.
अहिले त म भन्दा माथिको कुमारीहरु they are already married उहाँहरुको they are already grandparents पनि husband पनि छ बच्चाहरु पनि छ happy living a happy life ahead हैन
Former Kumaris dispel these myths, stating that their time as living goddesses has no bearing on the happiness and stability of their married lives. The Kumari, Nepal's living goddess, provides a window into the nation's rich culture and spiritual traditions. Thank you so much for joining us on this captivating journey into the mystical world of Kumari, the living goddess of Nepal. We hope you found this video as enchanting and thought-provoking as we did. If you enjoyed learning about this fascinating tradition, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments below. If you'd like to see more intriguing cultural explorations, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, so you'll be the first to know when we release new content. Remember, the beauty of our world lies in its diversity, and by delving into the rich tapestry of traditions like Kumari, we gain a deeper understanding of our global community. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.